2024 NFL playoff race is heating up, with both conferences nearing the final stages of their postseason picture. As Week 17 unfolds, here's an updated breakdown of where teams stand, key scenarios, and what's at stake for each team. NFC playoff picture. 1. Detroit Lions 13-2. NFC North leaders. Detroit has positioned itself as a top contender for the NFC's number 1 seed and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. A win against the 49ers on Monday night and a Minnesota loss to Green Bay would seal the deal. Otherwise, Week 18's clash with the Vikings will decide the division and possibly the conference's top spot. Remaining schedule. At 49ers versus Vikings. 2. Philadelphia Eagles 12-3. NFC East leaders. The Eagles' loss in Week 16 snapped their 10-game winning streak, allowing Detroit and Minnesota to move ahead of the number 1 seed. However, Philadelphia needs just one win or a Washington loss to lock up the NFC East and the number 2 seed. Remaining schedule versus Cowboys versus Giants. 3. Los Angeles Rams 10-6. NFC West leaders. After surviving the Cardinals on Saturday night, the Rams could clinch the division depending on how the strength of victory tiebreaker unfolds. If not, a Week 18 showdown with the Seahawks will decide the NFC West. Neither team has a wildcard pathway. Remaining schedule versus Seahawks. 4. Atlanta Falcons 8-7. NFC South leaders. Rookie QB Michael Penix Jr. shined in his debut, and the Falcons benefited from Tampa Bay's loss to Dallas. Atlanta can clinch the division with a win in Week 17 and another Buccaneers loss. Remaining schedule. At Commanders versus Panthers. 5. Minnesota Vikings 13-2. Wild card number 1. The Vikings remain in contention for the NFC North and the number 1 seed. Winning their last 2 games would accomplish both. Remaining schedule versus Packers at Lions. 6. Green Bay Packers 11-4. Wild card number 2. The Packers are locked into a wild card spot but have little to gain from playing key starters heavily over the next 2 weeks. Still, this is a team no NFC contender wants to face in January. Remaining schedule. At Vikings versus Bears. 7. Washington Commanders 10-5. Wild card number 3. A win in Week 17 secures Washington a playoff berth. However, a loss would complicate their path and open a door for Tampa Bay to sneak in. Remaining schedule versus Falcons at Cowboys. 8. Seattle Seahawks 9-7. In the hunt, Seattle's hopes rest on Week 18's game against the Rams. If both teams finish 10-7, the strength of victory tiebreaker will decide the NFC West champion, likely favoring LA. Remaining schedule at Rams. 9. Tampa Bay Buccaneers 8-7. In the hunt, Tampa Bay's playoff hopes could end this weekend. If Atlanta wins against Washington, the Bucs' best shot would be for the NFC's final wild card spot. Remaining schedule versus Panthers versus Saints. AFC playoff picture. 1. Kansas City Chiefs 15-1. AFC West champions. The Chiefs' Christmas Day victory over Pittsburgh secured home field advantage and a first-round bye. However, their Week 18 game is meaningless for seeding purposes so that key players may rest. Remaining schedule at Broncos. 2. Buffalo Bills 12-3. AFC East champions. Buffalo is out of the running for the number 1 seed, but can secure the number 2 spot, ensuring they host all playoff games except against Kansas City. Remaining schedule versus Jets at Patriots. 3. Baltimore Ravens 11-5. AFC North leaders. A dominant win over Houston solidified their divisional lead. A win or tie in Week 18 clinches the AFC North. Remaining schedule versus Browns. 4. Houston Texans 9-7. AFC South champions. After a Wednesday loss, the Texans are locked into the number 4 seed, meaning a tough wild card matchup awaits, likely against an AFC North team. Remaining schedule at Titans. 5. Pittsburgh Steelers 10-6. Wild card number 1. Despite their recent slump, Pittsburgh remains in contention for the AFC North. They need a win and a Baltimore loss to take the division. Remaining schedule versus Bengals. 6. Los Angeles Chargers, 10-6. Wild card number 2. The Chargers secured their playoff spot with a blowout win over New England. They're likely locked into the number 6 seed, setting up a road game against Baltimore or Pittsburgh. Remaining schedule at Raiders. 7. Denver Broncos, 9-7. Wild card number 3. Denver has squandered win-and-in scenarios the past 2 weeks, but still controls its destiny. A win or tie in Week 18 sends them to the playoffs. Remaining schedule versus Chiefs. 8. Cincinnati Bengals, 8-8. In the hunt. Cincinnati's playoff hopes rely on beating the Steelers and getting help. They need the Colts and Dolphins to lose, plus a Denver loss or tie. Remaining schedule at Steelers. 9. Indianapolis Colts, 7-8. In the hunt. The Colts remain alive with a manageable schedule. They advance in multi-team ties at 9-8 but lose in head-to-head tiebreakers against Denver. Remaining schedule at Giants versus Jaguars. 10. Miami Dolphins, 7-8. In the hunt. Miami's chances hinge on tying with teams other than Indianapolis at 9-8. They need to win both remaining games. Remaining schedule at Browns at Jets. NFL playoff clinching scenarios. NFC. Detroit clinches NFC North and number 1 seed. Win plus Minnesota loss. Atlanta clinches NFC South. Win plus Tampa Bay loss. Philadelphia clinches NFC East. Win or tie, or Washington loss. Rams clinch NFC West. Strength of victory tiebreaker. FC. Baltimore clinches AFC North. Win or tie. Pittsburgh clinches AFC North. Win plus Baltimore loss. Denver clinches wildcard berth. Win or tie. Eliminated teams. NFC. Giants, Bears, Panthers, Saints, Cowboys, 49ers, Cardinals. FC. Raiders, Patriots, Jaguars, Titans, Browns, Jets.